Fortress and see what I got.
Farm hands, Farmer REEF here. Welcome back to another episode of the Superman build. This is the REEF Hero series. As you guys see, Superman's doing really well. I just want to do a tank update, and we're going to be doing an install today. We're going to be doing the Tunze Osmolator 3155. This is the ATO, so anytime any water evaporates in my tank, it fills it up for me automatically, so I don't have to keep using buckets. So this tank is it's pretty small under here. I don't have much room underneath the tank, so I had to figure out where I'm going to put a reservoir to put the fresh RO water that's going to fill this up. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you where we're going to hide that, and we're going to do this install together, and I'm going to show you how it works and all the functions in that. So yeah, the tank is doing awesome. I got the bacteria, everything's going on in here. You guys see it's really nice and crystal clear. I end up using the Polyp Lab Genesis. There's 80 billion bacteria in here. It's dormant. The stuff works really good, guys. I end up pouring about half of this in here, but only usually use, if your tank is running normally, 1 drop for every 25 gallons. And you can do that daily. Even when your tank is got full of SPS corals, everything that's in there is awesome. You keep your bacteria count up, plus your corals will end up eating this as energy as well, so it ends up feeding your corals, so it's perfect for both things. Cleans your tank and feeds your corals at the same time, so that's Polyp Lab Genesis. 80 billion dormant bacteria, so definitely try and check that out. So that's what's in that tank. So moving on, everything's been going well. I haven't had any algae blooms or anything taking off yet, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's been staying pretty clear. Just been playing with the skimmer a little bit. I got the Tunze comb line in there, so I can pump as much air to it as I want because it has a nice controller on it and it's DC low power consumption. I end up, we're sitting on right now, I'm going to show you. I end up, this is where I'm going to hide the reservoir. For the reservoir, I just went to Walmart, $9. Just check that, it's got a lid on it, so it'll keep any water nice and clean out of there. And we're going to fill that up, put it inside. We're just going to take a drill bit and drill a hole through here for the 3/4 inch line. And we're gonna plumb it into the sump. So that's the plan today. So we're gonna edit this. It's gonna go with this. So we're gonna make that rock and get that right in there. What you're gonna need today is you're gonna need a drill, and you're gonna need some bits here to drill some holes. So I'm gonna show you where we're gonna hide it and how we're gonna plumb this, so we can get this ATO up and going. Because on the top of this display on the aquascape here, it's going to be all SPS acros on top, and then we're going to be putting all the different kinds of LPS corals on the bottom to really cover up that sand bed and make things look really nice and get some fish in there. So even before we get that done, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and hit the little bell in the corner so you make sure you get all these notifications as we're going forward with all these videos. So let's go start building. Let's get this tank up and running with the ATO so I don't have to pour any more buckets of water in here. Alright, farm hands, so this is what I'm going to hide the reservoir in. I end up on a swap and trade site. I got that bench for 50 bucks. So it's going to be perfect, so when I'm doing my videos, place to sit, plus a place where I can hide this reservoir for the Tunze Osmolator. So that's awesome because it ends up working out. I got a place to do my videos, and it's like a tickle trunk. I can hide any little prizes in there for you guys, and it works out well. So you're going to need to drill today, a couple drill bits, the reservoir. So we go closer here. So it's got the hinges on it. It's got a nice storage area inside. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this container I picked up at Walmart, $9, pretty cheap. It's going to be great just to hide things in here. It pretty much fits. You just got to bend it a little bit just to get it in there, like that. So there you go. That's where it's going to hide. And then I can put the lid back on, move it around so I can actually get the lid on. So it'll keep any dust or dirt out of there, or plus any kids with little fingers. That's what my problem is. You can see I have my electrical plugged in over there. My daughter Callie, she likes to unplug my tank, so I got a way how we're going to fix and lock that up, but that'll be coming up very soon, how to stop your kids from unplugging your tank. And then there's the ATO there we're going to do. That's an Osmolator 3155 from Tunze, and that's what we're going to do. So this one's here is new, but I got one that I'm going to hook up that's a used one from one of my lab tanks we're going to use, and that's what I'm going to hook up on here because I want to save this one here for my new tank that's coming, and so it'll have a brand new one. So that's the plan. So let's go moving forward here. I'm going to get some tools ready. We're going to start drilling some holes, and then underneath the tank here, because what you want to do is make sure is these two tanks are pretty much on the same level. You don't want to have one. You don't want to have this one lower than this reservoir, because what happens is when the little pump turns on, it puts the water in here. But if you don't, with the suction, even when the pump goes off and there's still water flowing, it'll just keep filling up your tank, filling up your tank. So you want to try to put everything equal as possible or end up having this tank a little bit higher than this tank. So there'll be no backflow of water happening right now. So yeah, everything's working good. The skimmer's working good. I got a little bit of carbon in my Deltec reactor. Got all my controllers and thermostat. So everything's turning out pretty well. So I'm gonna start getting mounted up a little bit and we'll come right back to it. All right, gang. So I got the float and the sensor right here. So you can see like I got barely any room on both sides there, so I couldn't even get the magnet. So what I did is I just took a 4x4 electrical steel cover and just had enough room to slide it down in there so it would actually stick to it with the magnet. So that's the place where I want it. I pretty much got my, it's actually the sump is, some of it's already evaporated because I can tell my skimmer right there is not working 100%. So I have to raise the water level, so I'm going to set it at that height right there. So I just put some two-sided tape and we're going to mount it right over here. So that's just next. So keep it a little higher, I'm thinking. And just want to make sure we can get it all squared up. Just like that. So we're getting everything all good to go. So all I have to do is put my power supply in the bottom. And all I have to do now is take all these cables and tidy them all up. And then there's one other wire here I'm going to show you. Can get it wet. So right here, this is the end where the little pump, actually there's little clips here, just clips on the end of the wire to power it. So I'm just throwing that in the back for now because we're going to end up hooking that up. So I'm going to go ahead right now, I'm going to get these wires all tidied up nice and neat, and then we can start getting everything, all the hosing, everything all mounted. So yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I got the wires here. I'm going to end up getting a little clip so I can clip those up nice and neat because I don't have anywhere very along this edge, there's not enough room to hide those cables. So I'm going to show you right now. So I got it plugged in, nothing's hooked up to it, but got all the wires ran nice and neat here. So all I have to do now is we got to get the hose. The kit comes with the hose that's going to come from the reservoir to the sump. So we got to get that part installed next, and we got to drill this out so we can get the water in there. All right, so I'm gonna need two hoses. I need one for the cable. This is the pump, this little pump that's going in here, so we need one for that, and we need one for the hose. So I'm just going to make two small little holes here, and I think I'm going to have enough Kurt to bend out of there. I might end up have to go on the side just to get through, or the back, because I don't think I have enough to come out and then make it past this piece of wood. So I'll check that out and see what I'm going to do here. Alright, so the hole's made. It's going to go through there. Always make sure if you end up putting it through the cover, put the wire through the cover first and then out through the back. I'll show you here, through the wire. Good to go. So perfect, I'm just going to clean up my mess and then we can finish putting this all together. Alright, so we got those ready to go. So I'm going to make my other two holes just in the top of the cover here. I'm just starting with a little starter bit so I don't crack all the plastic. I'm just going to switch out bits. So, and this one here is a step-up bit, so you can pick the size you want. It works out pretty good. So just do it till it's the size of the pipe. I don't want to make it bigger than I have to. Let's see. A little bit bigger. Like that. So test again. There, perfect. So it'll slide right in there, meet the pump, and then we got the other one for the other wire. So I'm going to go ahead and put that all together. Alright guys, so we got the two holes drilled and the pump and everything, so I'm going to open it up and show you guys what I did. So there's just enough slack, I can open this up, fill this back up. So I got the line attached, it just fits into the pump, and what I did is I put a couple 2-way tape on the back to hold that pump in the middle. I don't want it flopping around, so it just sticks there perfectly. So I can put my cover on, and then I can just clip the sides so it's sealed really nice. And when I fill it, I'll make sure I leave it just perfect so there's enough room I can access both sides. So there we go. So all we have to do now is we have to attach this wire to the Tunze controller, and then we have to get this RO line into here. And what they come with is this little bracket that the RO line is going to go into, and we're going to mount it right on the top and put it right into the tank. So I'm going to go ahead and do that part now. So I end up here, so I got the RO line, it's all attached from the Tunze. So it comes with a nice bracket. So I end up putting the bracket right here in the back, you see there. And then I just did a zip tie onto piping here. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, pull that zip tie off, and just have it just so it sits above the water so it's nice and silent. So So everything's good to go. So now all I have to do now is hook the one wire that's coming from the controller to the pump, and it'll start pumping water. So what I need to do is go get a pail of new RO water. Let's fill this up, and then let's test it, put it into action. It's all wired up. I got the water in the reservoir here. As you can see, it takes about a pail and a half, so it's pretty sweet how much it's going to hold. So everything's wired up. All we have to do now is push the end into the power supply into the controller. And so right now, we're going to watch it in action. So right now the pump is turned on. I don't know if you guys can see it. Right now, see the water? It's flowing right now. So I'm not moving that a little closer. So here's the float switch. So when this water goes too high, you're going to hear an alarm. So if I hear that going, I gotta run over to my tank. Oh, what's going on? Why is the water so high? And it'll go the opposite too. When there's a little sensor here, there's that little high, ends up hitting the bottom, touches that water. It's gonna shut this pump off, and that's gonna give you your height and your level of your tank water in your sump. Because if I want this, my skimmer, it's too low right now. It's not sucking enough water in. So I'm gonna try to bring it up so it's perfectly matching my skimmer, so I get the most out of the skimmer as well. So yeah, if you ever hear this, oh, something's going on. It sounds like we're gonna have a flood, or something's plugged up. And then the same thing as well, when that pump runs out of, when this reservoir runs out of water, it's gonna let you know as well that you need to fill it up and top it up. So it's got some nice backup systems, but you see the water flowing there. I don't want to, see if we can pull it down a little bit. Just like that, but yeah, it's got a nice stream to it. There's more in here. Perfect, keep it like that. Until that eye touches the water, it's not going to shut off. So it's still pumping. So you hear it, it's pretty silent. So I'll just end up cleaning this up a little bit with wires. It's still flowing away. And you guys can't really see the lights that are going on there. It's not the best spot. But right now it's saying pump on. And when it's too low, it has a too low. And when it's too high, it'll be too high. And then you get that high level alarm. It's still pumping away, so my skimmer is starting to take more water in now. Yeah, it's starting to get better in there now. Starting to get more action. I'm still going. So I'm just gonna watch this until it hits up the water level that I want, because I might have to push this to put the level back down in the water just a little further. Then after that's all done, I'm just gonna top this back up. So we're good to go. Oh, there we go. It just shut off. You guys can see there, the water. The RO line is off now, and it's just touching the eye of the sensor, and we're good. So let me check here. Yeah, I'm gonna push this eye just down. I'm gonna raise it just a little higher. So I want that to come back on. Let's give that a second, because there's I can't really see it here, but there's a skimmer on the skimmer line. That's where you want to keep your water at its max. So it's almost there. I just need to raise it just a little more. So it just came back on. Let me see, okay, I'm going to push that down just a little bit just to tweak it so it hits a little sooner. Pretty close there now. Okay, there. Okay, I'm liking that right now. So that's decent. So I'm going to keep my water level at that. So what I could do right now is just get a sticker or a black marker, mark it here so I always know what that water line is all the time. And we're good to go. So that's how easy that is to install that Tunze oscillator, guys. And it's definitely a must. So now that, like, if I go on a vacation, I can top this up. I know that my water, if it's evaporating, that it's not affecting any of my inhabitants in my tank, because, you know, when the salinity gets dropping, you know, below 0.25, it starts to stress out your corals, your fish, and everybody. So you want to keep everybody happy. So make sure you pick one of them up. It's definitely going to save you a lot of time and money. You won't lose corals and fish and stuff like that. Plus, and then if water ends up going down, it's harder on your pumps and stuff because they're not getting all the water that they're supposed to have. So getting a good, you know, collection of Tunze products in here. All right, farm hands. So that's how you install the Tunze Oscillator 3155. Very easy process, as you guys seen. I did a little DIY today with my new bench that I'm going to be using here to hide the reservoir, and everything worked out perfectly. And just have to tidy up those wires a little bit, and it'll be good to go. So definitely, if you guys are going to end up, you know, doing any tank, 3155. So this one here that's still new is going to go into my other tank that's coming up, and then I'll just use the one that was from the lab that still worked out pretty good. So I definitely put my trust in the Tunze Oscillator. I like it because, you know, and if anything evaporates, it keeps all your salinities in check. It doesn't stress out all your fish. And it's such an easy little process, and it has all the high, low alarms. If you run out of water, it lets you know. If it ends up flooding, something got caught, it lets you know as well. So you end up, you can check out your tank before anything really happens. So I love that oscillator. I've used a few different ones in the past, but this has been my favorite, and this will end up being like my 5th one that I'll be installing. So it's pretty cool. So thanks for tuning in this, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you know, hit the like and hit the little bell so you make sure you guys get all my notifications. I got a lot of new videos, lots of new content coming up, and one more build. So I'm pretty excited to show you all. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and that's it for this day. So this is the Reef Hero series, the Superman build. So please subscribe and hit that like button.